Kibbe-Lee. See my door on this little dude, and tack welds made. There she is. We look at the highs and the lows of building a Season 2 correct hero car. Y'all looking at me, y'all made me laugh. A little shorter than John Schneider or Tom Wolfpack was. So there that is. We will, of course, we'll have to put the seats through the side glass now. The roll bar is in there. We'll go ahead and finish drilling the holes and bolt it down. And then finish putting the rest of the interior in. what we got going on now is we're going to make a fake firewall to go on the General Lee here. So what I've done is the way we done this one. It may not be exactly like what was on the season 2. Don't know of any exact measurements to be for sure. Set me a pretty much a guideline, and this is a no air non-AC car, so the firewall's different than say an AC car would be. But all I did is I'm going to base mine off of the brake booster. We want it to fall right in behind the lip of the ledge here where the brake booster is put together. I've just pretty much put me a straight edge right there, shot me a line across through here, put that tape up as reference, and we're just using normal just construction paper. Anywho, what I like to do is once I get my basic shape, I need to put you some kind of reference mark so you know to put it in the same spot every time. Picked up these magnets at the local tractor supply. They don't cost that much, and they work great for holding stuff in place. And all we like is finishing up the other side over there, and then we'll come back, and we've already got our reference mark. We're going to fold this over, put it in the shrinker and shrink it so we can hold that arch that has, and then we will start constructing our face and our box to cover up the windshield wiper motor. That's a 2-speed motor. We're also converting it over from, it had a 3-speed motor on it, we're going to convert it over to a 2-speed motor. So, with that section over there, top done, we're going to move on and start working on this section right here. What I want to do with this section is where this is rounded, nice and smooth. We're just going to mirror that to over here, and hopefully everything will turn out great. Let me get a tape measure. I love to use a cloth tape in one of these. You can get them at Walmart or an upholstery place or anything like that. It's got yards on there, so if you're doing upholstery, you can measure that off. But the thing is, you get pretty much an exact measurement. It'll follow the contour of wherever you're working on. My measurements right there on my reference. I'm going to take this over to the table. So, once we pretty much laid that piece over there on top of this one, traced it out to move it over here, the firewall is a little bit different. This should be all the way down here, but the top section fits better if you slide it on over, because, well, it's just made different. So what we're going to do is we slid our top piece here over, overlapped it, and then I'm just going to take this one and find a good place where it starts to not fit so well. Probably right along here. I'll cut it off, put in an extension, and move this on down to here. And then, like I said, it's just a template pretty much to cut out our steel and get it set up. Closer look. So what we will do is, there we go, we'll just come in, square this off, trim it off. You can see my line here where we've pressed it up, and that's where the firewall starts to contour up. We'll trim that off and trim out anything up here that we need, and we'll have a template for our top piece. Then we'll do a 45, take it over there on the brake, bend it over, and run that through the shrinker so we can get this nice. You can see it better here. Get that nice oval or arch contour of the top of the firewall. So you see, I keep things pretty simple. Simple shears, snips, and a pneumatic set of shears. Our handy dandy little cheap. Took our template, laid up on the steel, put your magnets on it, trace it out with a Sharpie. Nice ruler, bring the straight edges you need. Got all of that cut out. Now we have our sheet metal top piece for the generally fake firewall. So let's go see how it fits. So, something I forgot that you should always do when you're doing work like this is tape off the area so you don't scratch the car. When I went back to cut that last trim piece, it kind of dawned on me that I had not put no tape on it. I've been lucky so far, I haven't scratched it. But there have been times when I got in a hurry and forgot. And I have scratched it. And then you get to go back and repaint it. On my time, not Kibbe time. Don't want any dents. Just make sure you take it all up good. And then you don't have to go back and redo it. Alright. So, we just kind of come back and arched it by hand. Get the basic shape that we want. Screw it into place. Really good. really like the way that looks. That is going to work out great. Now I can simply mark where we want to cut and fold over. And then from there, we can figure out how we want to do this. I haven't exactly figured out how we're going to attach it. Probably just a few screws right here, maybe 3 on the corner. Something symmetrical and looks fairly decent. A lot of this stuff here will be gone once he puts the Holley fuel injection system on it and does some other things, does some rewiring. This engine will look totally different once he gets through with it than what I've currently got right here. So alright, let's get to work. So I haven't covered any of actually cutting and making this because it's pretty cut and dry. I did decide to come back and go with the shrinker, and just several times coming back, shrinking a little bit, go back, shrink, stretch, trim, and a little trial and error. And so we can see it here. And we've got our top piece. And what we'll do is we'll just drill some holes in here, and we're going to make this a 2-piece setup. This will bolt on just in a few places down through here, and then excuse me, what we'll do is we'll come back, put the face plate on, and it'll be detachable, so that if we need access to any of this in here, you can just take a few screws out. The box, the cover for this, will be riveted onto the front plate, so you just take the breather off, a couple of screws, pop that off, and then you can get to all of this as you need to. And then if this is still in the way, pop a few screws out and take it off, because the hood will be on. You won't be able to just take it straight up like it is now. So that's where we're at right now. Let's move on to the next thing. What's next is, you don't need a whole lot of fancy tools to do this. Anybody can do this. And I'll show you just what I mean by that. If you are creative and have the willpower, this is pretty much my metal fab shop. Shrinker and a stretcher. I think they're Harbor Freight. The metal brake that we used, got it off Craigslist or something like that. Here's just a few the tools that I have. Got this attached just to a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and there's our template. And as you can see, it turned out great. So like I said, you don't have to have a whole lot of tools to make it happen. You've got a dream and you want it to take place, then you just have to bow up and do it. So I've skipped through the couple hours of trial, fit, and error. We've got down to this final template right here. Now, the original General Lee didn't have heater hoses, so I'm going to have to come back and probably make some type of a panel right here, bolts in or screws in or some sort, and make an extension. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do here for, whether you see them or not, for the heater hose connections. We're going to follow this shape right here and come down on the bottom, extend this on down, ended it probably like 45 or 30, and that way it'll just taper into the existing firewall. The original one just come down and stop. Then we use this heater box mount and make a tail and bolt it right there, and then we may put some other braces or something in the back to give it a little bit more rigidity. But it'll tuck in behind the master cylinder or brake booster over there, and we'll build our box right here, and it is looking really, really good. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Give you a closer look. So this will actually tuck in behind here, and we may have to come back and do some tweaking once we get it in metal form so it'll fit, but looking real good overall. Real happy with it. So we'll take that template and we'll transfer it to a piece of steel and come back and trial and error again until we get a good fit. Okay, so this is our mocked up panel. I have to go back and bend these pieces right here. I'm going to take this right here, fold it over to give it some more rigidity right through there. Do a quick trial fit. And yes, I know I forgot the hole. But that is probably going to work. So let's go bend it and cut a hole. Trim just a little at a time. Alright, we have got it. After an immense amount of whittling and refitting, we've achieved what we planned on getting, where the bottom bolt for the heater box, that stud sticking out, is what's going to hold on this side. And we'll just put a few screws all the way across. Got a tack weld, a piece over there, had to shorten it up and make it fit. But do a little clearance for the valve cover, come back and do a little fitting here for the dipstick. And other than that, it fits great. It's real smooth, it looks good. And get some paint on it, get the little cover made for the windshield wiper motor. And this thing's gonna look great. It'll look pretty much exactly like the one in the that Robert's going for. Excuse me. It's been a pretty long day, but overall I'm really happy with it. It looks good. It's turned out great. So all right. So I'm gonna call it a day for today, and I'll try to do better on the videos. I didn't figure you wanted to see all the grinding and beating and banging and clanging and all that, because it's pretty much just make it out of cardboard and transfer it to a piece of sheet metal, and then trim it and fit it from there.